Most gardeners trying to boost soil microbes are doing something that actually slows microbial growth down. The common advice is to add molasses to your soil because it feeds microbes with sugar. That sounds logical, but in real gardens, it often creates a short spike in bacterial activity followed by a crash. I tested something most gardeners would normally throw away, and the results were dramatically different. A waste product from brewing multiplied microbial activity far faster than molasses ever did in my raised beds. And before I ran that test, I made sure the soil conditions were actually right for microbes to respond. A lot of gardeners experiment with amendments, but ignore the basics like moisture, temperature, and pH. If those are off, microbes don't multiply no matter what you add. That's why I always check my beds with a 4-in-1 soil moisture meter that measures soil moisture, plant temperature, pH, and sunlight intensity. It's one of those tools that instantly shows when a bed is too dry or when pH is drifting out of range. That alone prevents a lot of wasted effort. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. What surprised me most about this experiment is how quickly the soil biology responded. Within hours, the microbial activity was noticeably different between the beds treated with molasses and the ones treated with brewing waste. Let me explain what that brewing waste actually is. The brewing industry produces large amounts of something called spent yeast. After fermentation finishes, brewers remove yeast cells that have already done their job converting sugars into alcohol. For breweries, it's waste. For soil microbes, it's a nutritional jackpot. Spent yeast is loaded with amino acids, nitrogen compounds, enzymes, and micronutrients. In other words, it's not just energy like molasses, it's actual microbial food with the building blocks microbes need to multiply. Most gardeners don't think about soil microbes the way microbiologists do. Microbes don't just need sugar to survive, they need balanced nutrients to reproduce and expand their populations. Molasses provides quick energy, but spent yeast provides protein, vitamins, and organic nitrogen. When I tested this in my garden beds, the difference showed up faster than I expected. The way I set up the test was simple but controlled. I used 2 identical raised beds growing leafy greens and beans. Both beds had the same compost content and had been watered to the same soil moisture level. Before applying anything, I checked moisture and pH using the soil meter to make sure conditions were stable. Moisture was sitting around 26% and the pH was about 6.5, which is ideal for microbial activity. Then I prepared 2 solutions. The molasses solution was 1 tablespoon of molasses diluted in 1 liter of water. The spent yeast solution was 1 tablespoon of brewing yeast sediment mixed into 1 liter of water and stirred well. Each bed received roughly 1 liter of its respective solution per square meter of soil surface. I applied the treatments in the evening because, microbial activity tends to increase overnight when temperatures stabilize and sunlight isn't drying out the soil. The next morning, the soil smelled different. Gardeners who work with living soil know that healthy soil develops a rich, earthy scent produced by actinobacteria and other beneficial microbes. In the molasses bed, there was a mild, sweet smell, but the yeast bed had that deep forest soil aroma that signals strong microbial metabolism. That was the first clue something significant had happened. But, smell alone doesn't prove anything, so I checked microbial respiration using a simple soil respiration test. The yeast-treated soil released almost 3 times more carbon dioxide than the molasses-treated soil. That means the microbes were not only active, they were multiplying. Here's where things get interesting. Molasses tends to feed fast-growing bacteria that burn through sugar pretty quickly. Those bacteria consume the energy source rapidly, and then the activity really slows down once the sugar is gone. That creates a temporary burst of microbial metabolism, but not necessarily long-term growth in microbial populations. Spent yeast works differently. Because yeast cells contain proteins, amino acids, and complex organic compounds, soil microbes actually take longer to break them down. That slower process fuels sustained microbial growth instead of just a quick sugar spike. So, after about 3 days, the molasses bed had already returned to its baseline activity levels. Meanwhile, the yeast-treated soil was still showing elevated respiration. But, the real test in gardening isn't just about microbial numbers, it's really about plant growth. The crops growing in those beds were kale, lettuce, and bush beans. These particular crops respond pretty quickly to improved soil biology, since they rely heavily on microbial nutrient cycling. Within about a week, the kale in the yeast-treated bed had noticeably darker leaves and thicker stems. The lettuce heads were fuller, and the beans were producing more vigorous vines. That's the effect of microbial nutrient cycling. When microbial populations expand, they begin breaking down organic matter faster. That releases nitrogen, phosphorus, and trace minerals into forms that plant roots can absorb. Plants don't directly eat compost or organic material. Microbes process those materials first. This is why soil biology is the real engine behind plant health. But there's an important detail here that most gardeners miss. You can't just dump yeast into your soil and expect miracles. Active baker's yeast is designed to grow rapidly in sugar-rich environments like dough. In soil ecosystems, it doesn't always integrate well with existing microbial communities. What worked in my test was spent yeast, the inactive yeast cells left over from brewing or fermentation. Those inactive cells become microbial food rather than microbial competitors. If you're experimenting with this, small amounts work best. In my beds, I use roughly 1 tablespoon of spent yeast mixed into a litre of water per square metre of soil. I apply it lightly every few weeks during the growing season. Too much organic input can actually create microbial imbalances or oxygen depletion in the soil. Balance always matters. The hydroponic test I ran was even more revealing. In a small hydroponic biofilter system that supports beneficial bacteria, I added diluted molasses to one filter and diluted yeast solution to another. The molasses triggered a short bacterial bloom but stabilized quickly. The yeast-fed filter developed thicker biofilm layers and showed more stable nutrient cycling within 48 hours. Water clarity improved and nitrate conversion increased. That tells me yeast supports a broader microbial ecosystem than molasses alone. So, does this mean molasses is useless in gardening? Not at all. Molasses is still useful when brewing compost tea, because microbes need a quick energy source during aerated fermentation. It works well for stimulating bacterial growth in a controlled brewing process. But when you're building long-term soil fertility in raised beds, containers, or field gardens, complex microbial foods tend to perform better. Spent yeast happens to be one of the most overlooked options. And in many places, it's completely free. Breweries and fermentation businesses produce large amounts of it, and often discard it as waste. Turning that waste into soil biology is one of those practical gardening tricks that actually makes sense once you understand how microbial ecosystems work. If you enjoy experiments like this, where we test real gardening techniques instead of repeating internet advice, consider subscribing to the channel. This channel focuses on practical soil science, raised bed gardening, hydroponic systems, and techniques that genuinely improve plant growth. Because the more you understand soil biology, the easier gardening becomes. Healthy soil isn't created by dumping random amendments into a garden. It's built by understanding moisture, pH, organic inputs, and microbial ecosystems working together. Once you get those conditions right, even a small input like brewing yeast can wake up an entire soil food web. And when the soil food web wakes up, the plants respond faster than most gardeners expect. If you found this experiment useful, share the video with another gardener who's trying to build healthier soil. And subscribe for more real-world gardening tests that reveal what actually works in the garden.